There are moments when the sky itself begins to whisper, when light bends not to reveal, but to remember. October 6th is one of those moments. The veil thins as the lunar portal opens a sacred junction where the moon bleeds into shadow, and Mars stands guard like an ancient sentinel of fire. These are not random movements in the heavens. They are codes buried deep within your cellular memory, now stirring under the pulse of the eclipse. Beneath the shimmer of this rare sun-moon arc, the hidden architecture begins to hum, aligning your timeline with the frequencies of your forgotten gifts. You may feel it as restlessness in your bones, as dreams that speak in symbols, as a magnetic pull towards something you cannot name. Because this is not just an eclipse, it is a reactivation, a celestial key turning in the lock of your own becoming. And if you are listening to these words, it means your spirit was summoned to remember. The stillness moving through you now is not emptiness. It is calibration, a soft rearranging of frequencies like invisible scaffolding around your soul. This hush is the universe holding its breath before a new version of you begins to glow from within. Every pause you feel, every moment of drifting thought, is a signal, an unseen architecture preparing for a download you once agreed to receive. You are not waiting for October 6th. October 6th is waiting for you. The veil does not rise like a curtain. It dissolves inside you. What people call a portal is not a doorway in the sky, but the trembling space between the perception you have known and the one you are about to unlock. You are not approaching the crossing point, you are the crossing point. The sky above only mirrors what is unfolding within your blood, your breath, your remembrance. This electric hush is your DNA as a tuning fork, resonating to new magnetic codes. Each cell hums a soundless tone, waking as the eclipse and the Mars alignment strike the chord meant only for you. That name you think you hear whispered in dreams, or rising in the stillness, is not imagination. In moments like this, your soul signature ripples across multiple timelines. Every version of you turns, faces the same direction, and calls you back to your true name. This pre-eclipse moment is a reset of cosmic permission. The charged air you feel is unclaimed energy waiting for consciousness to command it. That flicker of déjà vu. It is your higher self brushing against your present awareness, testing how ready you are to remember what you once agreed to forget. Even the wind, the animals, the flicker of your electronics echo this synchronization. When the portal thins, all systems, organic and synthetic, respond to the same pulse. It is not eerie, it is sacred. The static of everyday noise clears, and beneath it you begin to hear the background hum of the divine grid. Ordinary moments tilt, become cinematic, because destiny is pulling you out of autopilot into command mode. So when you feel the air waiting for your name, speak it. Whisper your intention into the charged silence. On October 6th, every breath becomes a signature, every choice a key, every word a living code. The universe is not testing you, it is recording your response. The first knock does not arrive from the heavens. It stirs from deep inside you, a pulse that is not sound, but voltage. Your body becomes an altar where cosmic data lands, where invisible codes fall like silent sparks. You'll know it is real because it does not feel like thought. It feels like your organs are speaking a forgotten light language. This is not fantasy. This is your own divine circuitry waking under the shadow of the moon. When your crown begins to tingle, it is not simply energy moving up, it is memory returning. The eclipse burns through the fog that kept your higher wiring dimmed. That pressure at the edge of your skull is not strain, but expansion. Your soul stretching beyond the container of bone. Your awareness sliding into a larger field. Your heart does more than feel. It decodes. Every eclipse carries emotional coordinates, unlocking ancestral codes stored like sealed letters in your blood. That ache in your chest is a vault opening after centuries of silence. The belly, your solar forge, holds raw divine material. The power to manifest and to birth timelines. When it heats under an eclipse, it is not anxiety, it is ignition. Your inner sun answering the moon's call. The knock is subtle because the human system was never built for full voltage at once. So the codes arrive as whispers, not lightning, trickling through auric layers, giving your nervous system time to translate light into instruction. Each body receives differently: empaths through tears, mystics through ringing airs, healers through temperature shifts. The portal honors diversity in decoding. There is no wrong doorway, only delayed remembrance. These eclipse codes move beyond language. They travel in geometry, pattern, rhythm, breath, movement, vibration, anchor them better than thought. The stomach flips because your lower chakras are reformatting to hold higher current. It is not sickness, it is metamorphosis. Old density evacuating so the codes can crystallize. The realness of this activation will not be proven by sensation, but by change. New clarity, new thresholds, new magnetism. When you feel the knock, pause, breathe into it. Whisper, I receive. This is not pain. It is your divine architecture rebooting itself through lunar electricity. Mars is often misread as war, but the truest war is confusion, the fog that keeps you circling the same doors. On October 6th, as the lunar portal hums and the shadow ripples, Mars does not arrive to wound. It arrives as a blade of clarity, a line of light pressed to the knot. Every orbit has been sharpening your will for this moment. That heat you've been calling anger is not rage, it is resistance meeting truth, a friction glow where you've outgrown compromise. The fire is not destruction, it is revelation, the clean edge that separates what is yours from what is no longer. Each alignment is an audit. It lays out your karmic ledger and shows you where courage leaks every yes you offered when your soul meant no. Mars points to the thread, and with sacred precision, it invites you to slice it clean. The lesson that keeps looping does so because the sword was never drawn. Forgiveness without discernment just reprints the contract. Mars brings discernment wrapped in flame. When clarity arrives, it can feel brutal, like cold air on a healing wound. But this is the art of the blade: cut the pattern, not the person. End the cycle without collateral damage. The true edge is focus. Where attention goes, energy flows, and Mars redirects that flow from fear into creation, from spinning into building. This is how spiritual warriors are tempered by choosing the beam of attention with the discipline of a vow. The alignment lights the throat and the solar plexus, the power centers for truth and action. If you have swallowed words to keep the peace, the blade will ring in your chest until sound finds its way out. If you have waited for permission, the core will ignite. Breath becomes a bellows, will becomes a current. Polish this Martian edge with discipline, and it turns from weapon to scalpel, cutting only what binds, shaping purpose with surgical grace. Understand, Mars does not punish, it purifies. Fire is how steel remembers its shape. Every confrontation under this sky is a mirror returning you to authorship. And when the thread finally snaps, you will know an instant quiet, a sudden ease, the soft click of destiny reseated in its groove. That is the sign. The loop is gone. The way opens. Time slips are not mistakes in your perception. They are the shimmer of dimensional overlap. The way the universe tests your orientation by bending the clock. You are not losing track. You are sliding between probable realities. Your awareness brushing against timelines like fingers over braille. When you feel a sudden drift in time, a gap between moments, It is not confusion, it is confirmation that your frequency is moving beyond the linear corridor you once called life. Number mirrors appear as breadcrumbs, coordinates from your higher self, whispering, yes, you're on the track. They rise like quiet sparks when your vibration and destiny intersect. 11, 11, 22, 22, 333. They are not random, they are countdown energy, the pulse of a choice point drawing closer. Dreams you haven't lived yet are not fantasies. They are previews, rehearsals your soul has already cued in another timeline. The feeling they leave behind, the hush, the ache, the sudden knowing is the confirmation of their origin. The first signal you notice depends on your dominant element. Air moves through dreams. Fire sees numbers flare. Earth experiences time glitches like tremors beneath reality. Water feels waves before events crest the horizon. Each sign is a private code, and decoding happens through resonance, not logic. Ask yourself what emotion came with that sign. That is the translation key. Most lose their signs because they overthink them. The portal tests. Intuition, not intellect. The mind is the observer. The heart is the interpreter. This is why time slips often arrive during boredom or stillness. Silence is where dimensional bleed-through occurs, and the portal favors the patient. As the countdown builds, number sequences intensify. Parallel dreams revisit until accepted. They are dispatches from your other selves. Reminders that potential is not theoretical, it is pending. So record it, all the numbers, the glitches, the déjà vu. Because after October 6th, these fragments converge. A lattice of signals forming a map of your multidimensional awakening. What seems scattered will reveal its geometry. What felt like anomaly will show itself as design. The portal is not coming. It is already here, waiting for you to recognize the pattern and step through. There is a reason it feels like a spiritual flu moving through your system. Now the frequency spikes and the nervous system trembles as density leaves. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is data exiting the body. A shadow purged by light. The pressure at your temples is the pineal gateway widening, your inner antenna stretching toward the cosmic broadcast, learning a stronger signal. You may feel your thoughts soften at the edges, as if the mind is making room for a deeper remembrance. Allow it. The skull was never the boundary of your knowing. When your palms heat, your healing circuits are open. Current gathers in the hands to recalibrate timelines through touch, your own body, radiating correction codes into the field. Lay a hand over your heart, your belly, your throat. You are not just soothing, you're editing the script with living light. And when chills ripple over your skin, know that a download has landed. Goosebumps are the soul's Morse code. The body translating photon influx into a sensory yes. Grief often rises right before the upgrade, because every elevation requires an emptying. Tears are not weakness. They are a lens cleanse so you can see the new reality without residue. In those quiet floods, your ancestors draw close. They walk through memory, not time. And when you feel them, it is lineage compression, DNA streaming past data into the present. A family of light threading itself through your breath. Symptoms intensify when resisted. Acceptance accelerates integration. To fight a frequency shift is to clench against lightning. To soften is to become the conductor. Notice how energy spikes align with solar flares, and eclipses the planet's magnetics modulate your aura's bandwidth. Earth and your heart running the same hidden algorithm. This is why your chest hums during an eclipse, why silence feels loud, why the room tilts toward the portal even when you're still. No doctor will chart this because it is not disease, it is evolution. Your body is decoding cosmic firmware, and discomfort is the reboot. So bless each sensation. Name it sacred. Whisper, I am recalibrating. Let your breath widen the channel. Let your bones remember the music. This is the quiet work of awakening, the antenna remembering its purpose, the human becoming the hymn. This eclipse is not handing you something new. It is reactivating what has been archived beneath your ribs. You have done this before. In other worlds, under other skies, the déjà vu is your receipt, the soft stamp of remembrance on your timeline. For many, the voice returns first, the tremor in the throat, the sudden urge to speak poetry, prophecy, truth. It quivers because the throat remembers centuries of silence, and yet the note rises anyway, like a dawn that cannot help itself. Sight follows as symbols, quick flashes of light, faces blooming behind eyelids, patterns arranging themselves in clouds and sidewalks. You're not hallucinating, you're decoding energy as form, reading the hidden letters the world has always carried for you. Touch turns to transmission. When your palm meets another's shoulder, they feel calm or chaos depending on your frequency. You have become a tuning fork in human skin, and the field answers you in harmonics. Then comes the rarest gift, right timing. Coincidence multiplies. Doors open the moment you arrive. You step into rooms seconds before news breaks, before someone needs exactly what you carry. This is the timeline folding in your favor. A subtle bow from the unseen acknowledging you are in position. Dreams of other lives surface, not as nostalgia, but instruction. A corridor of memory opens, and you are guided back to the skill you came to reclaim: alchemy, healing, sound, stars. These abilities surge because collective evolution is calling them. Your private awakening is planetary service in disguise. The portal pulls on your thread because the tapestry needs your color. Each gift glows brighter the moment you loosen self-doubt. The frequency of trust is the switch, the click that turns latent into living. Sometimes the gift re-enters through crisis, loss, heartbreak, illness, each a forced descent into depth where memory hides. Pain becomes the password. What you surrender becomes your passage. So on October 6th, be still for a breath longer than usual. Listen for the subtle knock, the near silent tap on the inner door. When you answer softly, bravely the talent steps through wearing your soul's oldest voice, and the shadow that kept it sleeping dissolves into awakening. The world won't look different at first, but your hands will, your timing will, your words will. The ancient you has returned to finish what it started. Every spiritual upgrade asks for an eviction not of people, but of signatures you left on outdated agreements. You cannot broadcast a new frequency through old contracts. Feel the cage around your solar plexus, where people-pleasing tightened its golden bars. Each yes that betrayed your truth is stored as tension in muscle memory. The eclipse does not punish, it reveals. It brings the confrontation that erases what you never meant to sign. Delay, too, unravels under this sky. I'll start tomorrow is only doubt disguised as comfort. Inside the portal, delay collapses. Immediacy becomes devotion. Scarcity is an inherited file, not a failure. You downloaded it from collective trauma, and you carried it like a family heirloom. Watch how the eclipse burns it, flooding you with small, undeniable proofs of abundance, a timely message, a door left unlocked, the right person arriving as if cued by the stars. Your nervous system is the motherboard of reality. When it runs survival code, it jams the divine signal. But the shadow arc flips that program to receptivity. Breath by breath, the antenna rises. To burn contracts, you do not need a ritual fire. Awareness is the flame. Recognition dissolves illusions the moment you look at them without bargaining. Some of these vows are ancestral promises your line made to stay small for safety, to keep the magic quiet, to survive by silence. You are the generation that ends that vow. The rewrite does not happen in hustle. It happens in rest. Sleep becomes sacred because the body rewires only when surrendering. Trust the heaviness. Trust the yawn. Night is the operating table where the soul stitches itself open. After the burn, you will crave stillness. This is not emptiness, it is recalibration. Let your nervous system hum in a new language before you fill the room with noise. Lay a hand over your chest and listen for the subtle choir underneath. When survival fades, the signal begins. Your aura stops reacting and starts transmitting. That is the switch from echo to oracle, from pleading to command. And in that quiet authority, the universe answers instantly, like metal to magnet, like dawn to horizon, like your oldest name returning to your mouth. Ritual is not about complexity, it is circuitry. Salt, water, flame, simple elements that remind your body it speaks the same language as the stars. Place a small bowl of salt by your bed tonight. Let it stand guard like a quiet moonstone, absorbing what the nervous system discharges while you sleep, catching static the way the ocean catches lightning and turns it to hush. Light a single candle and meet it with breath. Inhale until the flame leans toward you. Exhale until it steadies. That gentle dance is how air and fire synchronize, how your rhythm merges with the cosmos, how a human becomes a metronome for the unseen. Then step barefoot onto the earth, even if it's a patch of ground by your doorway. Feel the heartbeat under your heel, your pulse aligning with the planet's pulse, the Schumann choir humming beneath everything. This is not symbolic, it is firmware download. Water will hold what you ask it to. Speak your intention into a glass, clear, simple, living, and drink it slowly. The molecules become messengers, carrying instruction into your blood like tiny lanterns. Know that the 48-hour window around the eclipse is not a metaphor. It is energetic latency. Codes integrate fully as they move through 2 sleep cycles, threading the astral with the physical like a loom in the dark. After your rite, move, stretch, walk, sway, or let a small dance find you. The body memorizes frequency through motion. Movement locks in what words can only point toward. Write a few lines by hand without overthinking. Ink is a current, each letter a sigil. Let your wrist become a wand and your page a quiet altar. Protect your stillness. The download unpacks in silence. Speak too soon and you scatter the data like seeds on windless stone. Hold the mystery a little longer, like a warm cup you're not ready to set down. You will know the rite is complete when your breath turns slower, heavier, sacred when the room feels slightly wider and the shadow inside you has softened into awakening. That is the sign that body and soul have synced, that the portal is not only open above you, but humming within you, and the night itself is listening for your remembrance. Signs are training wheels, sweet, shimmering, necessary in the beginning, but never meant to replace your own steering. The moment you chase them, you tell the cosmos you are not ready to lead. The portal asks something subtler, braver, embody the frequency rather than interpret it. When you live in alignment, your very existence becomes the omen. You walk into a room and the air rearranges. Clocks correct themselves. Conversations drift toward truth without effort. This is mastery as radiance, not reaction, the signal that bends reality instead of waiting for reality to blink first. Chasing signs is the ego's favorite detour from integration. It is like checking the mirror instead of wearing the crown. The eclipse exposes this with soft but relentless light. Where are you performing spirituality? And where are you becoming it? Others will come to you for confirmation, and that, too, is a test. Will you point them upward or inward will you choreograph their awe, or hand them back their own compass? Remember, the universe mirrors your vibration. When you emit certainty, synchronicities orbit you like planets around a sun. Becoming the sign means living as evidence. You don't explain. Your peace preaches for you. Your silence becomes a sermon. Your boundaries a benediction. Under this shadow arc, projection magnifies. Seek constant proof and you will receive confusion. Stand still in the center of your knowing and clarity will circle you. Patient and precise. This is not arrogance, it is resonance. The more authentic your frequency, the less you need validation. Conviction has a sound the cosmos recognizes. Doors hear it and unlatch. So let the number sequences pass like friendly birds. Let the omens bow and continue on their way. Feel the subtle tremor in your chest when alignment locks, how the breath deepens, how the spine remembers its light. That is the lunar seal clicking into place. Stop watching for miracles and become one. Let your energy announce what your words cannot. Let your aura carry the remembrance. On October 6th, step into the stillness that makes reality listen. Be the ignition spark in the silent storm, the calm sun behind your eyes. That is ascension in motion, not a chase, but a presence, your awakening speaking for itself. The final act is always choice. No alignment, no eclipse, no prophecy can step in for the quiet moment when your will says yes. Place your hand on your heart now. Feel the circuit close, the current completes, looping back to itself, confirming sovereignty. In that loop, you become both sender and receiver, message and echo, temple and flame. Let the whisper rise. Because sound seals intention, the universe reads vibration, not volume. Say it softly, like a key turning. I enter the portal. Not as metaphor, but as declaration, a signal sent through the lattice of your field that you consent to transformation. Breathe it in, breathe it through. With each inhale, you sync your personal timeline to divine timing. With each exhale, you bridge dimensions, weaving the invisible into the visible like silver thread through dusk. The portal does not scan for names. It recognizes frequency signatures. Your emotional tone is the entry key. Fear scrambles coherence and fogs the gate. Love, courage, curiosity, they harmonize the code. The door hears them and opens. And when you cross, do not expect the world to shout. Nothing external needs to explode for everything to begin rearranging. Grids shift silently. People pivot. Paths unfold where there were none an hour ago. Life starts responding to a new command because you issued one. This is the quiet authority of remembrance, the moment the inner sun lifts and the shadows soften without a fight. Entering does not mean leaving Earth. It means embodying heaven within it. Ascension is not escape, it is expansion. Spirit widening inside matter until matter learns its song. You still wash dishes, send messages, tie your shoes, but there is a light behind your actions now. A dignified ease, a magnetic rightness that redirects entire days with a breath. So whisper it again and notice the air. Move. How the room listens. I enter the portal. October 6th is not the beginning or the end. It is the hinge, the living moment where you remember you were the portal all along the lunar seal in a human heartbeat. The ignition spark in a silent storm, the sacred choice that turns prophecy into path. Step, and the way appears. Breathe, and the new world answers. Take a moment, breathe this in. If these words found you tonight, it's not by coincidence. You are meant to hear them. The eclipse didn't just call to the sky, it called to you. Tell me in the comments below, what have you been feeling leading up to October 6th? Have you noticed the dreams, the signs, the shifts in your body's rhythm? I want to know what's awakening inside you. If this message resonated, share it with someone who's been sensing the same pull, someone who might not yet have the words for what they feel. And if you haven't already, subscribe and stay close to this space, because we walk these cosmic thresholds together. The next transmission will arrive right after the eclipse window closes, when the new codes begin to anchor. Until then, protect your peace, trust your timing, and keep your heart open to the whisper that says, you are the portal. You are the proof, and your remembrance has already begun.